Good afternoon. Good afternoon. She got J. Crew to you. Coming back to you with a long overdue video here on YouTube this afternoon here on October 13th, 2022. Know it's been a while since I've been on the horn here, and I know some of you all might have thought, where's this guy been at? Where's he gone? Been taking care of some personal business. No legal issues that I know of has precluded me from coming back on here, but took care of some personal stuff and just took a little break from YouTube, man. Just want to recharge my batteries and come back and then get back on the horn here. Hopefully some of you all haven't abandoned the channel. Hopefully some of you all have stuck with me and just been waiting patiently for another video. So, hopefully this will be sort of like a continuation of people who've been waiting to hear for some more content from me. Got some more videos I'm probably gonna be doing, probably either tomorrow or this weekend. Like I said, I've been kind of getting my thoughts together and thinking about how I want to return to my channel here. And but I want to start off with a video that is going to cover an issue that's been going on for the past few months. Most of it is kind of falling back into obscurity for the past month and a half. But initially, back in August, it really sort of came to fruition here in terms of being an issue of note within the media. This is issue regarding your guy, Mr. George Foreman. And for any of y'all who probably are not boxing fans, George Foreman was a great boxer back in the 70s who had a career that continued all the way up to the 90s. And George was known as an elder statesman who basically, has gone on to do a lot of better things that outside of boxing, which I'll get to later in this video. As you can see, George Foreman was accused of, abuse of a sexual nature by two women back when they were around maybe in their early teens, maybe around 10, 11 years old. And yeah, back in the 70s, they said that he sexually assaulted them. These women, in terms of how they even got around him, I think one of their fathers was a boxer, and the other one was a manager and an advisor to the Foreman. With the former, in addition to being a boxer, he was a sparring partner for Foreman. And like I said, the second guy was like an advisor and boxing manager, as you see here with this New York Times article that I'll be posting in the description. Unfortunately, we have yet another case where these women have reportedly accused George Foreman of sexual abuse, and it dates back to the 70s. And unless you've been dead for the past couple of years, or unless you've been in a big coma, this has been a big thing with this Me Too movement, with people coming out saying that many folks have sexually abused them way back then, seemingly like in eras far gone, mainly and most notably probably being Bill Cosby, who had to do a little bit of time behind a sexual assault charge. Either way, this information was actually brought out, strangely enough, by George Foreman himself. He came out and released a statement saying two women have been trying to sue him since the beginning of the year in regard to, him allegedly sexually assaulting them. And the women were saying that, hey, if you, they said back then, back in the 70s, that if they told somebody, according to how George Foreman threatened them, if they told someone about these sexual abuse allegations, that he was going to have their fathers lose their jobs. And so they were saying that's why they stayed quiet for so long. I mean, it's always troubling to hear things of this nature, but you have to give people a benefit of the doubt. Because I'm one of these guys that think some of this stuff is kind of getting ridiculous, with people waiting 40 years to come out with some sexual abuse charges. If somebody, did sexually assault you, that's very tragic. But what's even worse to me is that they waited so long to release this information, because if that did happen, to me, it's probably been weighing on them mentally for many, many decades. and it maybe has even affected them as adults in terms of how they function in relationships and just with their loved ones. And so for me, uh, it's just another case. I'm like, good God, they wait this long to go do this? Well, this is crazy. I mean, as you can probably tell in the article here, that again, which I'll be putting in the description, it says in one of the paragraphs, Foreman then groomed the girls for several years, according to the complaints, before forcing them to have sex with him in places ranging from a San Francisco hotel to an apartment in Beverly Hills. The two women, who are both in their early 60s, filed the complaints in Los Angeles County Superior Court. Foreman told one of the plaintiffs, according to the complaint, again I'm paraphrasing here, that she could never tell anyone about the relationship. You don't want your dad to lose his job, do you? Scrolling down here. And this is the actual statement that he released. Over the past 6 months, two women have been trying to extort millions of dollars each from me and my family. They are falsely claiming that I sexually abused them over 45 years ago in the 70s. I adamantly and categorically deny these accusations, Foreman said. And Foreman is 73 years old. 73. And now he's having to deal with this. As you can see, they're kind of looking at some of his most famous matches here down in this paragraph, which says, after winning a gold medal at the 1968 Olympics in Mexico City, he beat Joe Frazier for the world heavyweight title in 1973, and then lost it the next year to Muhammad Ali in the classic Rumble in the Jungle bout in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, which is known as now, but then it was called Zaire. But that's what he's most known for in his previous boxing life. But as some of you who maybe were around, maybe like in the 90s and the 2000s, you might remember George Foreman for something else. You might remember him for them George Foreman grills that he advertised and that he helped promote. That really allowed George Foreman to be tremendously successful in his personal life. I mean, I've heard figures where he made hundreds of millions of dollars off of those grills, and that he really has just really been able to set up his family for generational wealth, which he needs. Keep in mind, George Foreman is one of those guys, he had a bunch of children throughout the years. It was odd to me, and I just thought it was just real stupid of George Foreman. I think for almost all of his boys, he has maybe 5 or 6 boys out of 10 or 12 children. He named all of them George. And I just thought that was stupid, because I was like, man, do you just lack imagination? If you be hitting the head that many times, you just name all your children George, that just didn't make too much sense to me. And so when I heard that way back in the day, back in the early 90s or late 80s, whenever he started having children, I was like, man, this guy has to be the most lamest dude I've ever heard of that's been a superstar athlete. He has no imagination, just naming all his kids George. Either way, this is one of those cases, from what I understand, it's kind of ongoing. So there has been no settlement by George Foreman, from what I understand. He's still trying to fight these charges as we speak here in October. So I want to say good luck to the former champ. And, if he is innocent, but if he's guilty, I hope he gets your just due, boy. I hope they uppercut you in court and they get all the money that they need to really just relax their minds. So you got J. Crew to you. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you want to subscribe, hit the subscribe button. Again, I apologize for my absence here. I know some people who probably look forward to the video probably haven't seen or heard too much from me over the past few months. But I just had to take a break from YouTube, man. Just recharge the batteries and reanalyze how I want to come back on my channel. Again, I got some more content coming for you this weekend. Y'all have a good one.